Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's video we are comparing two different types of equipment, an analog and a digital. Now this isn't a video to say which one's better, should you go all analog or all digital, no. This is just a fun comparison back to back and a bit of a conversation about it. So what I thought would be cool is, I've got my most expensive amp head at the moment, my ENGL gigmaster 30, and I've got my Fortin 33 pedal running through it, and we're going to compare it with my Neural DSP Fortin VST guitar plugin to see how that goes. And I chose that one because that has a kind of boost, the same type of boost as a Fortin 33. They've got the grind digital version on that. So I thought it'd be cool to dial that in to see how they go. So bear with me just as I quickly explain how this is all set up, and then we'll get to the jam and all the fun part of listening to them isolated and flip in between and see how they sound. So for this jam, I'm going to set up my DI box, and I'm using it as a splitter to split the signals. So I got my guitar going in here, one dry going out straight into my ENGL amp to get a wet signal captured, and the balanced out going straight into my audio interface to have a nice raw capture for the Neural DSP. So both performances that you're going to hear with it, either the ENGL or the Neural DSP, is done by the same performance. So for the jam, you're going to see me playing it twice, but hear something different because we've got different signals going out. So this is going to be lots of fun. I'm very keen to hear how they go back to back and how they sound. So let me stop babbling with this intro and plug it in and get rocking. So cue the cute little cartoon intro, and let's get to the jam and then have some fun afterwards. time to have a quick look under the hood on how it all got put together and how it turned out. So here we have the recorder track. So the blue ones are with the ENGL amp running through at the Fortin 33, and the red ones is the ones I use for the Fortin NST. So let's have a listen to them isolated. So firstly we solo the guitars. So this is ENGL. And then we go to, there's an easier way to do this that I'll sort out in a minute. This is the NTS, Neural Fortin NTS. All right, so let me just set this up a little bit better. So if we unmute all these, do this the complete opposite way than what we should. Yeah, unmute those. So firstly, I'll start with, before anyone really jumps to it, going, what does it sound like together? There's phase issues. So if I play them together, you'll hear. This doesn't quite sit right or fit right, but there we go. We did it for science, and now we know. So if I go here and mute these, then it should be easy to flip between them both. All right, so not that, want that. And let's go through it again with the other song, just have a quick little back and forth. So I find it really interesting. Because it seems like, all right, let's run through the settings first. So I'll put up on screen now the ENGL settings here. So as we can see here, I've got the Fortin 33 being pushed pretty hard. Need to have a quick look to have a see. Yeah, a bit of bass, a lot of mid and treble. And then if we bring up now, no, not that. Where are you? Come back, come back, come back. Here we are, the Fortin. Let's make them big, or bigger. There we go, so let's have a look at this as well. So going back to the very start, the pedals, we have pretty much the same as the ENGL setup, where I've got a noise suppressor to start with to help it sound nice and pretty, make me sound like I'm a better player than what I am. I didn't use the hex drive here because I used the Fortin grind, which in my opinion is so close to the 33. They're pretty much, I don't want to say identical, but they're close enough cousins where you'd question it. So I use the Fortin grind to mimic the Fortin 33. And then we go into the actual amp settings. And as we can see here, I've got the middle and treb pushed pretty hard as well, plus a little bit of bass. But with the presence and the depth, I think that gives it that little bit more twang, especially with the presence compared to the ENGL amp. Not there's anything wrong with it. Neither, as I said before, neither are better or worse than another, but it's really interesting, I think, the difference between them. And if you go to the cabs, I'm using the same IR here compared to what I am with the other one. Yeah, it's not much really, nothing fancy or flash there in that regards. I just take note that there's a second microphone here that's being turned off. So before you think, ooh, that's not right, it is, that's fine. So let's have a listen to it again now, knowing these settings here and going a little bit backwards and forwards, because I feel like there's a big frequency. Actually, I'll bring up the EQ. Let's check it out with the EQ. Difference between them. So guitars, let's bring up the EQ. Let's I'm guessing where the center is, how I'm capturing this. And let's see how they sound comparing with the EQ up. Come back. Yeah, so there's a bit of a scoop in, not done on purpose, but it turned out how it turned out. I'm stuttering a lot today. With the ENGL amp compared to the Fortin NTS, but it sounds like the NTS has more of a scoop in it. But the EQ, I was just trying to figure out while doing it, if this can be always on top, but I can't see if it can or not. So that's a bugger. Always on top. Excellent. This should make things a bit easier now. All right, let's try it again. Let's try it with the second track here. So there's definitely a lot more bottom end coming through the NTS. The peaks seem to be peaking the same at around about the 1K mark. Yeah, there you go. I find it pretty interesting, the difference between them anyway. So let's go through now and equalize this. Add them with the band so we can hear a little bit now with the band coming in and out. Yeah, so very, very interesting. So let's have a little bit of a chat about it now. We'll do like the final thoughts here. I won't bother resetting stuff up. So what I found really interesting about this is the ENGL sounded more warm and the NTS had a lot more grit and a lot more bite to it. But seemed like it was just missing that I don't know what it is. Lacking a certain dynamic, I think is the best way on how to put it compared to the ENGL amp, but the ENGL didn't have as much oomph, had more warmth with less bass. It's bizarre, but really, really cool. So, to try ask a question that I did at the very start of this video is it worth me using my ENGL amp and running through my little bizarre setup that I've got to have this hybrid setup, or should I just stick to my most expensive VST plugin, the Fortin NTS by Neural? I think they're both really good. I think they both serve different things and they give me different options. As you heard, they're the exact same takes that I did, and we got some pretty cool different results, different options. Which one's better, which one's worse? I think it comes down to how I feel in a day. Because, actually that is incorrect. Which is better and which is worse is absolutely irrelevant because they're both extremely high quality, I feel. It's just a matter of what you prefer, which one you feel most comfortable with on the day, I think would change with me. Because, yeah, the Fortin NTS has great. It's really easy to use, great results, and really easy to get a nice amount of brutal aggression that I love in my guitars. And same with the ENGL amp, the Gig 30 with the Fortin 33 added on front. Really warm, really nice dynamics, and really nice to play. They're both really nice to play through, so there you go. But it's all about your thoughts, because I'm really keen to hear your perspective on it and how you feel, how they compared to each other and which one stood out to you and why. Or if you have the same opinion as me, is they're both really good, but they're both just different, and let's just celebrate diversity between them. Because yeah, there's no need to punch down on them because they're both brilliant pieces of equipment. So thank you very much for joining this video. It was fun, pretty much just a little quick one to put together and to do, and to see more of a conversation than a test, so to speak. So yes, please continue the conversation in the comments, because I'm definitely keen to hear them. But thank you very much for joining me this, and I really look forward to chatting with you the next time. Until then, keep it metal and stay safe.